Dude, people won't stop talking about pirate software. I actually don't like. I don't know, man. Like,
as mentioned,
I don't know that much about the drama, to be honest. Just seems kind of. Let's see this.
Watching a video that was critiquing
PirateSoftware never talks about Blizzard. Wait, did he say that he never talks about it?
You work at Blizzard so much? I literally, watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard is having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard. Blizzard. Game industry for Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard. Yeah, no, I worked at Blizzard back when I used to work at Blizzard, when I was at Blizzard. For those who don't understand, like, I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. I know how to do that because I worked at Blizzard. Example of this when I was at Blizzard. How do you know so many things? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I don't think I'm better than other people. I do think that it's funny because you can that. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting.
You know, to be fair, like, do people like I don't know, like I can kind of see this though, what he's saying.
So that,
but I don't know. Again, like, I don't know. Like, people like I keep trying to give like the benefit of the doubt, and people keep telling me like to stop it, and I'm like I don't know. There must be like some context I'm missing. There isn't. Like I don't know. Like he's saying like, okay, so like he's saying that like that people will like misconstrue when he says he worked at Blizzard and think that he's like bragging or something. But it's like the same thing when I like say I work for Blizzard. I used to work for Blizzard and I used to work at Riot. Like, what's so bad about that, you know? You're supposed to dogpile? I don't know, dude. I'm just not a dogpile person, you know? I'm just not a dogpile person unless it comes to like catching who's on the freaking Epstein list, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm not really like a witch hunt kind of person, you know? So it's like, I just don't get it, you know? It's all downstream. They are mad that he has the wrong opinion about stock killing games. Julio says the thing is, he said, I never talk about Blizzard. You know what? Fair.
The problem.
Fair enough.
There. So I want you to listen to this phrase. Sure. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
I didn't do shit at Blizzard, by the way.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
I actually am the first second-generation Blizzard...
All I did at Blizzard was piss people off.
...employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. The first second-generation Blizzard employee. First second-generation Blizzard employee. So I'm second-generation Blizzard. I'm the first second-generation Blizzard employee that ever existed in the company. I'm also a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard
Dude,
employee.
how long did this video must have taken so long to make? He had to like supercut, like he had to like, how did they have this? You know, like, how did they even have this like a video, to be honest? Like, where did they get the clips? Like, how would I even make this if I was gonna make this video? That's so many clips.
Ever. I was the first.
Hold on, how much he talks about all the, does he really?
Generation Blizzard employee.
I guess that's fair. That, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. If he said like, oh, I never talk about it, but then he actually does talk about it any time, then that's fair. That's fair.
And I love that shit. I love that company. Working for Blizzard sucked, and I work at Blizzard.
Okay, that one's kind of funny. This one's kind of funny.
The first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee.
That was kind of funny.
And I love that shit. I love that company. Working for Blizzard sucked, and I work at Blizzard.
You know though, you can like a company and think it sucked working there. That's true.
I worked at Blizzard. There's me eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was actually at Blizzard. I think it was my first. I think it was 2009. It was me picking a safe. It was me cracking a safe in at Blizzard. Your Blizzard stories are fake? Which Blizzard story do you think is fake? Would you like to talk to me or my dad that worked at Blizzard for 23 years that's currently in chat? Which one do you...
Oh my god, I want to see hold on, I want to see the Asmon one.
Let's see if I find this. I literally never talk about it. What is this?
I want to see what Asmon says about it.
That was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much. I literally never talk about it. When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Your red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment. And Blizzard. Because having worked at Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard.
No way you're
Blizzard, the industry for Blizzard Entertainment. Blizzard.
No.
Yeah, no, I worked at Blizzard back when I used to work at Blizzard, when I was at Blizzard. For those who don't understand, like, I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. I know how to do that because I worked at Blizzard. Example of this when I was at Blizzard. How do you know so many things? I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I don't think I'm better than other people. I do think that it's funny because you can't that. There's a lot of people that brought that up, and it's like,
oh, fair enough. I changed my mind. I changed my mind, chat. Fair enough. All right.
Ever said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting. In reality,
Dr. K is just like, oh Jesus!
yeah, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
I actually am.
Well, hold on.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the.
Hold on.
But in reality, it's this. That is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Wait, what?
This gets misconstrued.
What? Hold on, wait. What? Wait, why is that bad? Hold on. Okay, that one I don't get. Like, actually, like, I don't get it. So he's saying that, like, other people say he's arrogant for saying that he's that he worked at Blizzard. But, like, that is context. Isn't it? Isn't that context for, like, a lot of stories and, like, you know, stuff that you would know about it? Like, isn't that context? But then, like, if people say, like, oh, you're being arrogant for it, and if you're, like, saying, well, I think you're misconstruing it as arrogance, then, like, all of a sudden, like, this is almost like a gotcha. It's almost like an undefeatable argument. That's clips is in regards to the roaching incident. I see. There might be some context I'm missing here.
As arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
I actually am the first second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever. The first second-generation Blizzard employee. First second-generation Blizzard employee.
Oh my
so
God.
I'm second-generation Blizzard. I'm the first second-generation Blizzard employee that ever existed in the company. I'm also a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was a second-generation Blizzard employee. I was the first second-generation Blizzard employee ever.
Oh my
I was the
God.
first
Seem
second-generation
like
Blizzard
fucking
employee.
Asmon, just like.
And I love that shit. I love that company. Working for Blizzard sucked, and I work at Blizzard. Or I worked at Blizzard. There's me eating a sandwich. Yeah, that was actually at Blizzard. I think it was my first. I think it was 2009. It was me picking a safe. It was me cracking a safe in at Blizzard. Your Blizzard stories are fake. Which Blizzard story do you think is fake? Would you like to talk to me or my dad that worked at Blizzard for 23 years that's currently in chat? Which one do you want?
Look at all the videos. It's over.
Dude, I just feel like I don't have the context, man. Like, I don't know. Like, do I think that, like, saying, like, do I think that saying, I never talk about that I work at Blizzard, and then, like, you know, there's a montage of you saying it, like, so many times, like, does that make you, like, the most evil person ever? Like, does he, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not seeing it, but it's probably because I don't know about, like, the full drama and, like, all the other stuff. There's probably hours of contacts that I'm, like, unaware of. I just don't see, like, I feel like the level of hatred is, like, so high. Like, I don't feel like this warrants that level of hatred. Like, you have people, guys. Like, there are people who have literally been insanely vile online, and they've gotten less hate than him. Right? Like it's, like, so weird. Like, it's the holier than thou attitude that he tends to have that pisses people off. It's not what he's done is he comes across as never wanting to admit he can be wrong about anything. Arguer says he's a narcissist, acts smug when he's clearly wrong. So, like, okay, so let's assume that he is wrong about the stop killing games, and that he didn't properly like he's straw manning like the argument of let's assume that he is straw manning the argument of stop killing games, which, like, you know, maybe that's the truth, right? Maybe he is, right? But does that make any of the other stuff he said wrong? Like, does that make like the logic behind what he said about game developers wrong? I like don't feel it. Like, I feel like maybe like the big at least as far as like in the stop killing games thing, it just seems like his biggest thing was getting the context or the thing wrong. But I guess like it's true that he went really hard on it while also having that opinion, right? It's like he was lying about it and then tried to take credit for its success afterwards. Or wait, did he do that? I thought he tried to take credit for sinking it, for scuttling it. I thought that's what he tried to take credit for. I don't know if I'm wrong like on that one, but he actively tried to get it to fail. I think he did. Yeah, I think he did, right? Well, I don't know about like how actively, but like he is like a pretty big streamer. So like I suppose like he'd have like a more of an effect on it, right? Wait, what? Wait, hold on. Deafmute says one stream he was talking bad about someone who pulled a monster, and then found out that they were talking about him, and said it only happened because other people and it wasn't his. What? Wait, I don't know about that one. He did say he was going to actively oppose SKG. He did say that. Yes, that is true. That is true. I did see that video. He mentioned how making him the villain gave it the success it needed. Oh, he mentioned how making the villain gave it the success it needed. You know what though? He's not wrong though, Cleric. Right, Cleric? Like, that's not technically wrong. It is kind of true that, like, I think if it wasn't for him being villainized over it, I don't think as many people would have cared. Nux covered all the pirate lore. Looks like he's lying about being a seasoned coder as well. Well, I mean, you can be a seasoned coder and be bad. You know? Like, it's possible, right? You could be a seasoned coder and be bad. You could be a seasoned coder and make mistakes. It's possible. Right? So the SKG position is written badly, says Lore Master Lover. You know, I probably should just like look into what it says specifically. You know, why don't we do that right now? Is there like a page I can read it? Hold on. I'm just gonna look into it right now. Stop killing games. Okay, well, here's the official stop killing games. All right. I'm gonna look at it straight from the mother tit of their website. Okay, guys. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers, okay? An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. The practice is a form of planned obsolescence and is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Over the past year, we have successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia, and have brought forth petitions for new law on the problem of various countries. A list of the actions taken to date. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see. This is the most powerful. Okay, so there's apparently there's the European Citizens Initiative, which is like people can like vote on shit, right? Sign the EU petition. So like if I click, is this gonna ask me for my info? I just want to read what they want. What's the actual petition? Like the words of the petition. Let me see if it's on here. Watch Ross. I don't want to watch Ross. I want to see what the actual fucking petition says. You know what I mean? Like what's the actual petition say? Like why is this not here? I want to see like what people are signing. Go to EU petition. Most video games work indefinitely, but a growing number are designed to stop working as soon as publishers end support. This effectively robs customers, destroys games as an art form, and is unnecessary. Our movement seeks to pass a new law into the US to put an end to this practice. Our proposal would do the following, okay? Require video games to remain in a working state when support ends, okay? Require no connections to the publisher after support ends, okay? Not interfere with any business practices while the game... Not interfere with any business practices while the game is still being supported. Not interfere with any business practice while the game is still being supported. Okay. That's it? I mean, but what does that mean? Like, I don't know what that means. Like, this is so vague. You know what I mean? Like, okay. This initiative calls to require publishers that sell or license video games to consumers in the European Union to leave said video games in the functionable, playable state. Specifically, the initiative seeks to prevent the remote disabling of video... Oh, hold on. The remote disabling of video games by the publishers before providing reasonable means to continue functioning of said video games and without the involvement from the side of the publisher. The initiative does not... Wait, without the involvement from the side of the publisher. The initiative does not seek to acquire ownership of said video games, associate the intellectual or monetization rights. Neither does it expect the publisher to provide resources. Neither does it expect to provide resources. Okay. Wait, hold on. This is literally what I said. Your chat. I did a whole analysis of reasons that this wouldn't be okay. I did an analysis of reasons as to why it could possibly affect video game developers. And I did an entire thing of that where I talked about all these other things, right? And people told me I was wrong and that I was getting it wrong and that I don't know what the petition's about. And I literally just read it and it's literally what I thought it was about. I wasn't strawmanning at all. Yours is more detailed, Murden. What does it say? Something is wrong with internet, guys. Okay, before I go into this, you need to look at you can look at it too. Wait, how do I look at it? Oh, click on that. Is this a different thing? Is this a new one? Wait, this is the one I'm clicking on, right? Is this a different one? Yo, Aramel, am I getting this wrong? Check the link with 007 at the end. The link with this one right here. All right, what is this? Hold on. The text below are the sole responsibility of the organizer's initiative. They reflect solely on the views of the authors. Okay. This initiative calls to require the publishers... Okay, it's the same thing. So it's remote disabling. Yeah. Video games have grown as an industry is... Oh, God, how long is this? Okay, it's not that long. Video games have grown into an industry with billions of customers worth hundreds of billions of euros. During the time, a specific business practice in the industry has been slowly emerging that is not only an assault on basic consumer rights, but destroying the medium itself. An increasing number of publishers are selling video games are required to connect through the internet to the game publisher or phone home to function. While this is not a problem in itself, when support ends for these types of games, very often publishers simply sever the connection necessary for the game to function, proceed to destroy all working copies of the game, and implement extensive measures to prevent the customer from repairing the game in any way. The practice is effectively robbing customers of their purchases and makes restoration impossible. Besides being an affront on consumer rights, video games themselves are creative works like film, music. One cannot be simply substituted with another. By destroying them, it represents a creative loss for everyone involved and erases history in ways not possible in other mediums. Existing laws and consumer agencies are ill-prepared to protect customers against this practice. The ability for a company to destroy an item that is already sold to the customer long after the fact is not something that normally occurs in other industries. With license agreements required to simply run the game, many existing consumer protections are circumvented. This practice challenges the concept of ownership itself, where the customer is left with nothing after buying the game. We wish to invoke Article 17 of the Charter. Okay, the European Union. No one may be deprived of his or her possessions, except in the public interest and in cases where under the conditions provided for it by law, subject to fair compensation being paid in good time for their loss. This practice deprives European citizens of their property by making so that they lose all access to a product an indeterminate, arbitrary amount of time after the point of sale. We wish to see this remedied in the core of this initiative. Okay, that's good. Okay, fair enough. This is all just legal stuff, basically. The legal reasons for them doing it. But the initiative is clear in its objective, which is right here, right? And this is exactly what I said that they were saying. I wasn't strawmanning it at all, right? Because okay, so when you say something like the game, so there's some games, so there's many kinds of games, right? So it depends on the type of game. So for instance, say there's a one-player game, it's strictly one player, and then they have like it connect to a server that's basically like verify checking it, and then they shut the server off and you can no longer play the one player game. I feel like that's a very easy solution to just be like, okay, well, in that case, yeah, we're just gonna make it so you can still play the game, right? By removing the necessity of verifying the server. Does that make sense? So that's fine. I get that part, right? But the way that this is worded would also apply to like things like multiplayer games, right? Again, like things like League of Legends or like even mobile games, right? Like Uma Musume or something like that, right? It would apply to those as well. And I think in general that's a good thing. But what I'm saying, guys, and like again, like let me be clear in case people, you know, want to freaking go crazy on me again. I agree with stop killing games. I just think that there is some concerns from the game development side. And like, wasn't that also PirateSoftware side? I guess that's why I'm confused. He tried to interpret what the vague language meant. Yeah, but like, isn't that what you should do? Like, I feel like you have to consider that like there are possibilities in how the law could be implemented that could hurt developers. That's true. Not just like triple. Honestly though, to be honest, it would probably hurt AAA more than indie. Like, just being real. Like, just based on the criteria, it should hurt AAA more than it hurts indie. But that's not to say that it wouldn't hurt indies that are trying to do like an endeavor that is AAA like. IW says it only affects new games going forward, and it basically requires to have an end of life ban. You don't need storefront for League of Legends, just a server binary that could host the game session. Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, you know, I agree with that, IWS. I agree with that, right? My point is that there is a concern with okay. Before you judge this, like, listen to the whole thing. Okay, chat? Before you judge this, listen to the whole thing. There is a concern of the intellectual property rights of the server software itself if they intend to use the server software for future things or a version of it for future things, because not only does it expose it exposes like how do I explain it? Basically, if you intended to use that server software as a base for a future product, it would have problems with releasing it would basically make it easier for people to either reverse engineer it to use it themselves or to exploit the system for like people that have nefarious purposes, like hackers and stuff like that, right? Like people that are cheating in games. That being said, I think that the consumer rights are more important. That like the idea of taking a game away from consumers is worse. So like that part is worse than the thing. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a concern with the other thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have two things conflicting here, and that both are potentially bad, just depending on the how the law is written. There could be potential bad on both sides of the argument. However, I think that companies being able to shut down a game and just be like, yeah, too bad, go play the second version of it, it's pretty fucking annoying. And I kind of agree with like the historical preservation part and all of that. So what I'm saying is like, I would agree with it, but I am concerned. Does that make sense? And I think that the stuff that PirateSoftware said in terms of like his concerns for it, I think that they make sense. Again, that being said, I still think that it's a good thing. It's the company's problems that they have to figure out. Yeah, exactly. Yes. But I can see it being like, I could see it having like this problem is probably mostly going to be for big developers, right? Like indie people don't really have to worry about like some crazy server technology or anything like that, right? Like indies are probably fine. It's just probably mostly going to hurt AAA, to be honest. Like if it was implemented poorly is what I mean. But yeah. But anyway, the point of what I'm saying is I don't necessarily see I don't see anything wrong with the logic in which PirateSoftware said. That's the point. Is like I don't think that what he's saying is illogical. I just think that his priority is wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people are saying that like the shit that he's saying is like absolutely stupid. I don't think it is stupid. Like I think it makes sense. I just think that like for me the priority is the customer versus the company. I think like sacking the company for the customer is like worth it in this case. Basically what I'm trying to say is my position on the matter is a little bit more nuanced than like PirateSoftware bad, PirateSoftware like ultimate retard, freaking retard. That's like not my point basically. Like I think that what he's saying makes sense. But I just don't agree with his prioritization. For the reasons I said, it being that the reason being that the customer and like preservation of games is, I think, as an art form is of higher importance. Watch Penguin's ears video. Okay, you know what? I will. Everyone told me to watch Penguin's ears video. I'll watch it. Maybe I am getting it wrong. I don't know. You guys, listen. I'm willing to change my mind. Okay, I really am. Let's see. Actually, should we watch the rest of this first?
PewDiePie shutting down another one right there. It's over. Jesus Christ, guys. I don't know. What is this? Same dad, by the way? What is this here? What about his dad? What did his dad say?
You guys both ignored me for my birthday?
That isn't true. I sent you a text.
No, you did not.
Bullshit.
That was last year.
Bullshit.
I got nothing. You sent me one last year.
Did I send you one last year? Am I a shitty son? Oh man. Yeah. It was last year. Wow.
I want everybody to know that Thor did not say anything to his father for his birthday a month ago.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't text you anything after that last happy birthday, so it's still the same one. It still counts.
Your logic sucks.
Okay. Okay, I agree with the dad here. I agree with the dad here.
In this small period of time, no. In this very small window, it seems like his dad is bothered. But I wonder if his dad's also kind of an asshole too, and it just didn't really show up in this clip. I have no idea.
His dad could be trolling him too, right? Like his dad could be like what's the word? Like hazing him. His dad could be hazing him too. Like his dad could be just trolling him.
Same guy? Yeah, I don't know. And
like I can see my dad doing this to troll me, like without any like actual like being actually upset about it. Like he would, like my dad would do this just to troll. I never forget my dad's birthday though, to be fair.
Yeah, I have no idea. LSF forwarders, Bresner Mandy, I have no idea. He's being farmed because he's been caught as a liar and again. His dad's wearing, his dad's wearing a shirt. I don't know what shirt it is. Probably he worked at Blizzard. I don't know. And his dad seems more chill, to be honest. I have no idea. I didn't see this.
Is it the Stop Killing Games one? Oh, he's always doing the jazz hands. Oh, shit. It must be this one, right? He's doing the hands.
You know what this is right here, pal? Huh, tough guy? You feeling lucky?
Dude, I'm so jealous of this freaking UFO catcher. I want a UFO catcher in my house, man. Fuck. I want one so bad.
Yeah, that's right. Spirit fingers. Do you know why? Because it's been about 30 hours since I last slept, and I've done 3 different intros, all of which crash and burned, and I am off my gourd, so now I'm going wacko mode. Mm-hmm. But, even in my sleep-deprived state, I am still lucid enough to recognize how cattywampus the AAA gaming space has become. Like, the gaming industry has so many things that I have bitched and moaned about. Probably the biggest practice that I've been most vocal about, not exactly shy on, is the topic of "you will own nothing and be happy." The Ubisoft motto. God rest that company's soul. What a pile of dog shit. But it's not just Ubisoft. That has become a prevalent business.
Wait, hold on. Chat, did Ubisoft actually say that? No way. Ubisoft, you will own... No. Oh, no. This isn't what they said. Okay, holy shit. I thought they actually said that. I was about to say, no way.
You will own nothing. You will be happy. You're basically... You come away with the idea of ownership of whatever games you purchase. I've worn this topic out more than a fleshlight in a frat house, but it is something I am very passionate about. The gaming industry is getting away with more and more garbage where they'll take a shit in your mouth and you're expected to thank them for adding some flavor to your taste buds.
Yep.
It's terrible. And there is an initiative that has been aiming to fight back against a lot of these practices that I think really need some big overhaul. And it's an initiative that I think a lot of you are probably very familiar with. It's called Stop Killing Games. And I've followed it since its inception. I've talked about it on stream quite a few times, though this is my first video going over it. And I regret that now because I see it wasn't going as well as I thought it was. Admittedly, I didn't follow how successful the initiative was, only that it was aiming to do good for consumers, and that it was taking proper steps legally to get there, and it was going through all of the right channels. And now today I watched a video from the guy that's spearheading this. His name is Ross. He posted a video called The End of Stop Killing Games, where he's giving an update on where everything's at and how it's kind of at the finish line here with a lot of failure to show for it, with only a few other chances to fight back. Now, before getting into the weeds on the topic, I want to get this in the beginning because I imagine the vast majority of people won't watch the whole thing. I'm putting a link to the full video on Stop Killing Games, as well as a link to where you'd go to help support the Stop Killing Games initiative, because there's only a little bit of time left for the most important parts of it now that it's at the end. So if you know what the movement is and want to support it but didn't know where, the resources are in the description, or if you want to get it right from like the source, I have a link to his video. But I want to go into it myself here because it is a topic that I do feel very strongly about. But for those that don't know anything about Stop Killing Games, I'm going to let him explain it in his own words, so that way you can get an actual, correct, informed explanation of what the initiative is. And the reason I say it like that, kind of like fucking all, pinky out, snooty, is because a lot of people don't even really know what this is because of people like PirateSoftware completely misrepresenting what the initiative was.
As a refresher, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement to stop publishers from effectively destroying video games they have already sold to customers.
I'll pause right there. The simplest, bare bones, birthday suit, butt-ass naked explanation for what this is. Stop.
Listen, guys. It's not that simple. That's the problem. The problem is that it's not that simple. Like, it sounds good to be like, just stop killing games, guys. Yeah, but what does it mean? What do you mean by that? Right? Like...
Destroying things that people have paid money to own. I think that is a very understandable, very reasonable take. Very agreeable.
It's very broad. And, I understand the sentiment. Like, guys, trust me, I'm fucking pissed off about Dragalia Lost closing too, okay, guys? I'm fucking pissed about that, and I fucking deserve a private server of Dragalia Lost. All right, I deserve it, okay? So I'm coming from it from that point of view, right? But it's the implementation of the law is important. Like, making a law, just stop killing games, guys, like, stop, it doesn't mean anything. I need to know what the specifics are.
Now I want to quickly jump to a different spot in this video because I think it's important to have this in the beginning because it's something a lot of people have heard that comes from someone that is just wrong about it. It's the PirateSoftware portion.
Okay, let's hear it.
Ross is addressing the video PirateSoftware made many months ago. Ross even says that he didn't plan on doing that because he didn't want to be seen as using this for drama farming because it would start to make the movement look less of like a legitimate initiative and more of just like drama slop content type thing. But he finally starts talking about PirateSoftware here because it's at the end of the life cycle of this initiative and it's not looking promising, so he's willing to do anything to try and set the record straight and hopefully start getting more momentum back to the movement because the damage PirateSoftware did to it through his video was substantial.
This video
but basically like here's my point of view, right? Like if I was, say I was the one running Stop Killing Games, right? And PirateSoftware comes out and he goes, yeah, you know, I think like, you know, there's some concerns with the video game companies. I'd be like, yeah, you know what though? You know what's more important? I still get to play my fucking game when I buy it. Like, I don't understand like why it has to be like a PirateSoftware is like wrong about the, I mean, maybe he is. I mean, we'll see.
Came out right as we were building momentum. Then, except for one boost in Germany, the signatures started drying up like clockwork. Thor does not understand what Stop Killing Games is.
Explain it then.
Here it is in his words.
So for those who don't understand, the Stop Killing Games
okay, let's hear it.
Initiatives is basically we don't want single-player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single-player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change. They need to be specific that they're talking about single-player games that do not need a server to support them.
No.
And as much as...
Wait, what is it? He's saying no, then what is it then?
They want it to be about...
Because I swear to God, if he goes, no, that's not what it's about Stop Killing Games. Like, bro, I'm going to freaking lose it if this is actually like the argument. I don't know that. We'll see.
Where it is a single-player game that has always online functionality, it would impact every live service game that exists.
Yes, it would.
Instead of just targeting single-player, always online games.
No, that's not what it is.
What is it then?
Stop Killing Games includes single-player games, but nothing about it is specific to them. He completely made that up, and I have no idea where he got that impression. It's the first line on the website.
Hold on.
Single-player games, but nothing about it is specific to them.
Okay, so hear me out, chat. If you're gonna make... Okay. PirateSoftware said that there was a concern with single-player games. Granted, like maybe he could have cleaned up his language a bit, right? But there was a concern with single-player games, right? And the response is, this isn't only about single-player games. Yes, but like, wouldn't it still be about single-player games? And wouldn't it still include the thing that PirateSoftware is talking about? Right, because if you care about, if you're saying like it's not just single-player games, it's all games, then wouldn't it include also what he's talking about? Saying it's only about that when it isn't only about that is part of the issue. Saying it's about DRM too. So it's just about this. Like that's what I said. Like he could have had better language, right? He could have had better language, like sure, but like I think like it like his argument would still apply. Does that make sense? Like even if like he is wrong about it only targeting single player games, that doesn't make like the argument against single player games still it doesn't make it doesn't invalidate the argument. Right? So I'll give you an example. Okay, like let me think of a way to like illustrate this. Okay, so if I said, okay, hold on, I'm thinking of a way to illustrate this. So if I said, guys, listen, guys, this rule that you're making is going to affect bananas. It's going to affect bananas, and bananas, like this thing is all about bananas and how bananas look. The bananas are going to have a problem because they look phallic, and it's going to be an issue, right? And then the other person goes, it's not about bananas, it's about all fruits. But like it's still like he's still talking about bananas, which are a fruit. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Basically, like it's still like if you were to like it would still have to address the issue with bananas. Sorry, I probably said that really wrong. But basically, like what I mean is, if Thor has, or Thor, whatever the fuck, I don't know his name, PirateSoftware has a concern involving the single player games aspect, and you know, single player games being shut down, and he has a concern around how that would work. And then the response is, we don't only care about single player games, we also care about 2-player games. But like, doesn't the argument still apply then? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, guys, I'm really bad at communicating. I gotta be like honest. I'm very bad at communicating. It always gets me in trouble. I'm kind of socially retarded. All right, like. But like in my brain, like it makes sense. Like I don't know. Like
completely made that up, and I have no idea where he got that impression. It's the first line on the website. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers.
Okay.
But the movement includes all this stuff from earlier, and he was mostly talking about the initiative.
He didn't even get the Cliff Notes summary right. He missed all the QTE.
Guys, I don't know. Dude, am I retarded or something? Like,
ending on understanding the initiative from the jump here. Ross is correct. This has nothing to do with just single-player only games that require an online connection, that when the online connection is severed, you lose access.
Yes, but it includes that, right? It includes that, so any concerns involving that, like, would concern the initiative. Right? Right. Like, if single-player games have a problem that would affect the initiative, then it should still matter what he says about the single player games. It doesn't fucking matter if it also includes multiplayer games. That doesn't invalidate the point about single player games. That's my point.
To the game. Like, yeah, that is included in all of this, but that's not like what the whole movement is about. And for some reason, PirateSoftware is stun-locked on that, like fixated as if that is the actual.
This is what I mean. Everyone keeps telling me to watch the original video. I'm trying to watch it. Isn't this what what it's about? What's the original? You mean the original video by Ross? Okay, you know what? I'll just fucking watch it. I'll watch it like right now.